Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Fox. I have a fox here. Do you know this technique? When you code, you want to have somebody that you could explain your code to, or like, you have a buddy in Pokemon and you can switch them up. I hope you're well. This is Dina, and I'm trying to find my style and thinking of what to tell you about. I went to look at a flat this morning. It was so tiny. Not tiny like small, but it was kind of small. But the ceilings were so low. I felt like it's a flat for a person who is not as tall as I am. So it's even the bed felt like it's like really sort of between single and double, something like in between. But that's not what we are doing today. Today we are learning some loops. I have been very uncomfortable with loops lately. I have been trying to figure out how to learn them cold. And the only way to actually learn something and memorize it very well for me, with my learning style, is to explain it to somebody. So today I'm going to try and explain to you how to control the while loop in Python. So let's try and do that. So what we have here, and you remember maybe from the past videos that I'm using Mimo for that, and atrociously addictive software, a piece of it's a compliment, by the way. I told you I'm still searching for my style, my online persona style. I don't want it to be too different from my everyday authentic persona. In fact, I don't want it to be different at all. Anyways, so what we have here is a little task, and we'll try to solve it. So let's write a program that keeps track of a price's value. If it's on 1, it doubles in value each day. And here's the final score. So we have days, 0, value, 3. While days less than 5, we want the display to reflect that. With an F string, the value is $value, and we'll have 3. Okay. So when value is multiplied and equals 2, then we increment the days by 1, and we'll print the final F string, the final value, with the dollars and variable value in it. Okay, let's try and see what we need to do here. Okay. I have coffee. It's very late, but I'm drinking so much coffee. It's an addiction. Okay. Let's create a variable to keep track of the days that have passed. We'll call it days and set it to be 0. So it's done. Another thing with here, you can see that I only have 1 heart left, and it's breaking my heart. Haha. So only 1 heart left, and if I lose it, if I make a little mistake, it will disappear, and I'll have to wait for like 3 hours before I can code in this app again. Of course, I can go and code on my terminal or whatever, But this piece of software doesn't really like imprecision at all. So if it asks me to just code a column, that's what it expects. It doesn't want me to go like and create the next layer of the text. So sometimes I go ahead and create something and lose a heart as a result. Not because I missed something, but rather I overdone something. So it's unforgiving that like that. But I do make a few mistakes as well, especially with these while loops. That's why actually we are here looking at those while loops with me. Maybe you are helping me. Thank you. Thank you. So let's create a variable to keep track of the days that have passed. We'll call it days. We have just done that. Okay. Now we'll create the variable value. So, which will keep track of the price's current value, assign value to hold 3. Okay. Mazel tov. Next, let's use a while loop to make sure we continue to loop until days less than 5. So, while to make sure we continue to loop days less than 5. I am very uncomfortable with the color. Yeah, why days do not change the color to white? Because this is variable and okay, I'm guessing this app is buggy. I'm a little bit worried right now to lose a heart. So if we lose a heart, I will switch to, I don't know, Pokemon Go or something. Or I don't even know what else show you. But, okay, I'm going to press run. Okay, it ran. But the colors are very confusing. You see how nerve-wracking this is. Okay, next. Inside the while loop, we'll display the value of the price. We'll display inside the while loop, we'll display the value of the price. Start with coding an empty display statement. So yeah, so it wants me to do just empty display. So and it's inside the while loop. Yeah. Oh, output is timeout. Why? To display the value of value, we'll use a formatted string in between the parentheses code F open quote, the value is and closing quote, and I probably, well, again, I'm not sure. Do I need to put a period, a dot, a full stop? I don't think so, because it's not the same color as blue, the rest of the F string, right? Let's see. It works. So happy, so easy to make myself happy. Oh God. And each time the while loop code runs, we will double the amount of value. So code value multiply equals 2. So let's just understand it one more time. Each time the while loop code runs, we will double the amount of value. So right now value is 3, and it will go from day 0 until 4. So it will go potentially 5 times, right? And each time it will double. So we'll first print the value for the user to see, and then we'll double it. Value double is multiply equals 2. Okay. Next, we also need to increment variable days to continue to loop each day the price is on 1. So, and this is the same principle, days plus equals 1 each day, yeah? So we run that. So now we have the output. I didn't... Okay, because we put the print statement before all of this, now we have 3, 6, 12, 24, 48. Okay, let's go ahead. Finally, when the loop has ended, we want to display the final value of the price. Use a print statement to display what value holds. So we need to print, and it will be an F string, final value in dollars, and close. And should be, here you go. It's 48 doubled. So day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 45. Day 0 is 3, and day 5 is 96. Okay, great work, apparently. Okay, would you like to do one more? Let's do one more. Okay. So I think we could do one more to get the gold medal on this parameter. What is the counter variable? Oh, coffee. Connatural. You know what connatural means? It's belonging to you or to somebody naturally. Connatural. Con is with, Latin for with. Con padre. What is the counter variable named in this code? So the counter is year. The counter variable is year, obviously, because year is 2020. Oh, it's last year. While year is less or equal to 2025, print F string its year, and year incremented by 1. So counter variable here is year. I'm paranoid that I'm wrong, but I'm not. God, so excited. What is the condition of this while loop? So we have year, and while year is less or equal to 2020. So that's the condition, right? What is the condition of this while loop? The year is less or equal to 2025. Yeah. What does this code display in the console? I is 0. While I is less than 0, increment I by 1 each time it's less than 10. Sorry, I said 0 twice, but I meant 10 the second time. And we need to print I. Okay, that's what I couldn't very well understand. This is about where print statement is, whether it's indented or not. And in this case, it's indenting. So we'll be printing not just one counter, but 1 through 10. I'll explain why. And you know what? I check on my terminal, so we'll avoid making a mistake. So the options here are the numbers 0 through 9, 0 through 11, 1 through 9, and 1 through 10. So the counter I is 0. So the condition is, as long as our counter is less than 10, first thing you need to do is to add 1 to it and then print it. So basically, I'm translating from Python to English, and it means that we will be printing a few numbers, not just one number. So if the print statement was not indented, but if the P was directly under W, we would be talking just about one number to display, and that would be probably 10. But in this case, we'll be printing a range of numbers, and they will start with 0, but the 0 will not be displayed because we'll need to add 1 to the first displayable number. So we'll display a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until we'll reach 9, which is less than 10, and we'll add 1 to it. So it will be 1 to 10, and we have that number. But because I don't want to make mistake and lose a heart, I'm going to quickly double check it on my terminal. You will not see it. I will address that soon, and I'll be just using a terminal on my phone, but right now I'm gonna use a Mac. So I equals 0, is not equals, but is 0. And the statement is, the condition is, as long as I is less than 10, first of all, increment it by 1, and then print it. And as I said, I expect it to be 1 to 10. And I am indeed correct. So let's choose this, and it works. So just one more thing. Okay. What does this code display in console? Counter is 1. While counter is less than 5, increment counter by 1 and then print counter. So the same, exactly the same problem. So principally different numbers. So counter is 1 and it is less than 5. So we'll start with 2, obviously, and we'll finish with 5, because 4 will be the last counter that is less than 5, but we'll have to add 1, and it'll be here. Correct. Yay. We are killing it now. What does this code display in the console? So trial is 1. While trial is less or equal to 3, increment trial by 1, and then print trial. So first of all, there will be one number, not a range of numbers this time, but just one number, and trial is 1. While trial is less or equal to 3, incremented by 1, it'll be 4, because that trial will never get a chance to just be. It will always be incremented. Let me try on my machine before I'll go ahead and choose one number. While trial is less or equal to 3, trial increment by 1, print trial. One more time. Trial is 1, while trial is less or equal to 3, increment trial by 1. So even if it's equals to 3, it will be incremented by 1, so we'll go for 4. It is a 4. Correct. Create a counter variable named counter and assign it -1. Counter -1. While counter is more or equal to -5, print counter. And counter is decremented, is it the word? Decremented by 1 each time. Okay. Change the condition to check if number is less than 10. So number is 7, while number is less than 10, print number, and each time coming up by 1. Yeah. Repeat the code block in the while loop 4 times by assigning a value to the variable I. So, repeat the code block in the while loop 4 times by assigning a value to the variable I. We have an option 1, 0, and 4. So it's not a 4. Obviously, it's either 0 or 1. So we need to repeat the while loop 4 times. While I is less or equal to 3, we probably start with 0. We need to 4 times. So we'll start 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we start with 0, and it will increment the first displayed value to 1, the second to 2, the third to 3, and the fourth to 4. The number 4 will satisfy our condition because I could be less or equal to 3. Correct. So here we need to prevent an infinite loop by incrementing the evens variable by 2 in the code block. Evens is 0, while evens are less than 10, we need to prevent an infinite loop by incrementing the evens variable by 2 in the code block. Evens incremented by 2. Okay. What does this code display in the console? Counter 1, while counter is less than 5, print counter. And counter is incremented by 1. I think we've already done that, right? Counter is 1, while counter is 5. There'll be a range, obviously. So it'll be a printing counter. But we will not be incrementing it. So we will not be incrementing it because the print instruction is coming before incrementing. So we start with 1 and we finish with 4 because we need to satisfy the condition that the counter is less than 5. Okay, you're with me? Okay, days 0, while days less than 7, display 1 through 7 in the console. Days are 0, while days are less than 7. Let's increment the days by 1 and print days. So we'll start with 1 because 0 will not be displayed, and we'll finish with 7 because the last day that is less than 7 is 6, and we'll have to add 1 to it, and that will give us 7. Okay. And we need to repeat the while loop 3 times by coding a condition that checks if I is less than or equal to 3. So, while I is less or equal to 3, and print I, but incrementing it will be later, so it will actually print 3. Oh, look at this. I need to work on this a little bit more. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Let's do it again soon. I hope you're well. Click like, click subscribe, comment, talk to me. I hope you're